Hey, James, thank you so much for taking the time out to meet with us for interviewing for the position of district manager for our upstate region. So I do want to hear why you're interested in the job. So take it away.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for the opportunity for interviewing with you today. I've been privileged to work for the company now for 2 decades. I've seen a lot of changes within the company. I've seen the company grow from a 1X tech company to today a 5G company. There's been a lot of changes within the company, and I believe these are the changes that are relevant for us to keep us relevant. So it's the necessary changes. And with these changes, like everything, there's resistance. Some employees that used to one way, some may not even understand the vision that the company is going in. But I believe today, if we remain status quo, we will be a forgotten company. So with these changes, we need a strong, knowledgeable, fierce leader. And that's what you have today in me, Mr. James Bovee.
Thank you, James. Thank you for sharing that and being candid. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and then I'm going to ask you one specific behavioral question after these first five. Is that okay with you?
That sounds great. Thank you.
So let's jump right into it, right? So this is a key background review. So how many years of sales experience do you have?
Well,
Total number.
Total number of sales. When it comes to sales, today I have over 10 years sales experience, and all of those sales has come from within the company.
So how many total years of retail management experience do you have?
Total retail management experience is 4 years. 4 years retail management experience.
Perfect. List all major responsibilities from all previous sales and manager jobs that you've had in the company.
Great question. Within the company, the responsibilities that I've had as sales, I had a quota to attain where, we had to grow the company. We had to have customer retention, different KPIs and metrics that we had monthly. Different roles that I had as a management was training and developing new employees, existing employees, even high performers, training them on the methods and procedures of our company. And in the background, I was in charge of operational, making sure that the books were kept up to par, taking care of our profits and losses, as well as dealing with the overall look of the store, the merchandising.
Okay, so what do you like most about being in sales management? This is a two-part question, by the way.
Okay, fantastic. Well, what I like most about being in sales management is I have the ability to help people grow in sales. In my tenure, I've had people that came in very nervous, very scared, very scared for the position, and I was able to bring them from a novice or a shy person into someone that has been spectacular, winning various awards, winner circles and president's cabinet. So I love the fact that we have a quota, which is a goal, and each month together, bringing a team together to attain these goals.
So what do you like least about sales management?
Now, that's a great question. I say that's a great question because there's not too much I don't like about the about sales management. I really love the fact that I have the ability to create magic, but being the people person, a nurturing person that I am, what I could say I like least about the position is, when it comes to terminating somebody, that'll be one of the things that I don't like to do. I like to really give everybody the opportunity, but there does come a time where you can't help somebody. They're at the end. When those tough conversations that I have to have will be the ones that I least to have.
So James, what sets you apart from other candidates?
Now that's a great question. What sets me apart from other candidates is tenure, and I usually don't like to use tenure as the point that would make you a better candidate. But in my case, just to give you a little background of myself, I started in customer service, and that was the birth of my career. There, I was able to learn the mindset of a customer, learn to understand the reason why we're a customer-centric company. The fact that I was able to learn how to treat a customer well, to retain a customer, to great customer experience. Now, moving forward from customer service, I went over to inventory. So I learned the operational side of retail. And in that side, I was able to understand the product, understand the millions of dollars of products that we had, and how do we keep up with there was profits, there was losses. What was keeping us from not going over the top? I learned that in operations. Now, after that, I took on a sales role where I learned how to sell. I went from an average salesman to one of the best in New York City. I actually won the top sales rep for the company in that region. And after that, I went I wanted to move away from retail sales. I wanted to go into a leadership position. And this is where I really birthed my career. Now, being from assistant manager to today a general manager, I had the ability to learn how to lead people. And I learned that by nurturing people. I learned that by having a culture, a winning culture, where all my employees were engaged, coming in ready to work, not for only the company, but for the leader that they stood for, which was me. My employees trusted me. My employees knew I understood and had their back. And that's what I bring to the table when it comes to district manager. I have the ability to have it all wrapped as far as customer service, as far as operation, as far as knowing how to sell, but more importantly, leading a sales force. So I've done it on a scale of having one store. Now I'm going to have the ability to do it over several locations and more employees. And in the end, what that does, when you have a better employee, you're going to have a better company.
I like that. So this brings us to the behavioral portion of the interview. I'm going to ask you a question. So if you need to repeat it, if you need me to repeat the question, I can repeat it for you. That sounds good?
That sounds great.
As a retail DM, you would constantly have to own, sell, and hand down to your team organization, initiative, visions, and values. Sometimes these things you had little part in creating. Can you tell me a time when you inspired your sales team to do a good job to support the organizational objective and initiative?
Well, I think that's an awesome question. Being with the company for several years now, there's always been changes that happen. And like I said earlier in my introduction, necessary change to keep us relevant. We back in 2018, we changed our company and went over to a 2.0 mindset. And this mindset was where, we separated our organizations from business, and we went separated from business to consumer, as well as going into, a more of a social media type of brand. So the company changed. It had to change. And with that change on the retail level, it changed the way sales reps were being paid. Composition changed, commissions changed, where an individual sales rep no longer were being paid on their own efforts. They had to, in a sense, share the wealth. So we went to a group, or what we call a team's commission. And with that change, it had a lot of friction, a lot of resistance. And to be honest, morale was at an all-time low, for my store specific. The productivity was going down because one rep that was a strong rep, hitting multipliers and things of that nature, they felt that their efforts were being used by a low performing rep. So I had no say in it. All I remember was the email coming out and me having to deliver that message. So I had to internally analyze, what is the vision of the company? Where do they want to go? And I understood the fact that, customer service is going to be the key to our success. And we're going to have an effort based not on what one individual is doing, but more a collective individual for us to move forward as a company. Although you may not be getting paid the same as you were before, but collectively, you are going to be getting paid well. So I explained the fact that now their base salary did increase. I explained the fact that together, if we still train and develop each other, so I'll still be training my team, but you as the leader, talking to a top sales rep, learn to collectively train the top reps, learn to interact in the same. So rather than having your own cell, you could jump in a cell and help other people, raise that cell, get more value out of the customer that's in front of you. Together, we have a happy customer. Together, we have a customer that wants to come back. Together, we have a customer that still wants to pay. So you're still going to have the ability to make your money within the company, within the compensation plan, because the overall value of the company increases where we will start to get compensated. Now within the system, I created my own reward system that did reward those that contributed more to the goal of the company. So yeah, we were getting paid as a group, but if you did show a little bit more initiative and you did a little bit more, not only in sales, but in training and helping your fellow rep, things of that nature, you will be rewarded within what Verizon allowed me to do. And what that did, it gave us employee engagement. What it did, it gave us a morale. People had a togetherness. People were cheering each other on. And in the beginning, it was tough. But at the end of what the goal was and the vision that we instilled, we had an outstanding finish to the months and the months that are in.
Oh, thank you for that. So that brings us to the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for me, James?
Well, only question I have for you, Mr. Bando, I want to thank you, for giving me the opportunity to sit with you today and interviewing, for the district manager position. All I would like to know is, do you have multiple candidates? And I understand that you're going to be doing some interview, but today the buck stops here with me. You really don't need to go anywhere else because, like I told you in the beginning, in today's world we're in, we have to make changes. We have to go into a different direction. And to get there, you're going to need someone that's strong, knowledgeable, and is a fierce leader. And with my plethora of knowledge, my leadership skills, you have found that candidate today. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.